Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Some people are so dumb that I genuinely wonder how they survive from one day to the next. And then I remember that jellyfish have survived for 650 million years with no brain. So I guess if they can do it.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Let me adjust a little bit. Sorry, not sorry. I got this little clip light because my other light kind of fizzled out. It was a stormy day. So I got a little clip light. It doesn't do too bad, except it shines literally right in my eyes and blinds me. So I'm going to do the best I can. We are still on StreamYard, as you can see. I started playing around with Streamlabs and I can't figure it out. So somebody's going to have to help me. Guidance, I see you're the first in the chat. You're going to have to call me. You're going to have to call me on a FaceTime or something and walk me through how to set up StreamYard. I'm over, or not StreamYard, Streamlabs. I'm over StreamYard. I'm over not being able to bring in the stuff that I need to bring in and have the volume when I've been doing this stuff for quite a bit now. And then all of a sudden within the last month and a half, they did some changes. I hate them. I absolutely hate the changes here on StreamYard. And so now I've got to figure something else out. So anyways, before we get started, a couple housekeeping items. Thank yous. There have been several people that have sent me Cash App. I want to thank Sherry for her donation to the Bullhorn Betty channel, and just, saying thank you for the hard work that we do. She's been a major supporter of ours for quite some time. I wish I had more time to speak to all the mods, or not all the mods, all the subscribers that help this channel out. You have no idea how much it really does mean to me. And it means a lot to the audience at large because they benefit from that stuff. Also, ZZT, thank you for your lovely donation. This is actually something that we needed. These are microphones that hook up to the phones. You know how, like, whenever we're out there and we're in windy weather and you're, right? Well, these are noise canceling little microphones that you can clip on, and it goes to the cell phone. This is the Apple. See the Apple tip? So this goes to the cell phone, and it doesn't just come with one; it comes with two. So if I'm interviewing somebody, we'll have good quality sound with that, with these little, and they just clip on to. I'm you guys can see that. Let me take that banner off real quick. Hold on, you'll be able to see. Drama-free zone. We're back to drama-free zone. See? So it just clips on. You can talk, blah, blah, blah. It'll pick up noise canceling sounds. Thank you so much. So this has been removed from the wish list. If many of you guys noticed, my wish list no longer has quantities on it. Because the jellyfish, the idiots out there on the streets of YouTube, actually think they're smarter than the average bear, but they are idiots with no brains. So all I had to do was literally go in there and remove the quantities, and they can no longer add it to their shopping cart. And this is for other creators out there that are having problems with the same thing. Just remove the quantities. They can put as many into their cart as their heart content, And guess what? It's not going to do anything to your list. So I just go in there and manually remove them. Much better process. So I was out with my BFF, and I've never really used, you guys know I'm a creamer person, but I'm not good with milk. Milk just does something to my sinuses and everything, gets me congested and stuff like that. So I still drink it because I love it. I love my peppermint mocha. But while I was out at Bell's, I came across these syrups. This is skinny syrups, okay? I just want to let you guys know I'm not being paid for this whatsoever. I don't want people going, she's advertising, those fish. She's advertising on her channel and not saying it's a paid promotion. I'm not being paid. This is actually just a shopping experience I am expressing. So anyways, I see this and I'm like, caramel pecan, that sounds really, really good. So I'm like, what is this syrup going to really cost me dietarily? All right. 0 calories. Can you believe that? 0 calories. It doesn't have, it has a little bit of sodium in it, but doesn't have any sugar in it. It's called these, and I tried it just in my last cup of coffee. First time I've ever used a syrup, 0 calorie. And many of you guys know I'm on, I've got it in here, but this is like a Splenda. I don't really use sugar if I can help it. I do eat sweets. I wish I could get off of them. I did get off of them for like 2 years, and then I had like a major sweet meltdown. So anyways, I got this. It actually tastes pretty stinking good. I can taste the pecan in my coffee. It's awesome. I like it. I like it. So anyways, I just thought I would throw that out there. So also in the same vein with the thank yous, Jennifer, one of our beautiful people in here, called, reached out to me. I shouldn't say call because we're all texting and stuff like that. I've got her number and stuff. She got me some pens, sticky notes, much needed file folders, and 2 reams of paper. She actually asked me, she's like, what do you need off your wish list? And I told her, I said, one of the biggest things that we use here in the office, believe it or not, we do need stuff for out in the field, but here lately we've been in the office, and the one thing that's lacking in the office is paper and office supplies, right? Because we print off a lot of pages here. We prepare files, but we also print off a lot of pages. So whenever a child's missing, I usually print off 20 to 50 flyers, nice quality. I design them. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes they already have the flyers designed for their community, and I pull them, and I'll send those flyers off to the family or people or organizations. If I know an organization is searching for a child or a missing person, I will throw 20 or 50 of those flyers in an envelope and mail those off to the people. So it's one less expense. It's what I can do to help. When I see these cases, even cases that we don't talk about on here, it doesn't mean that we're not helping somehow with those cases. We've got a lot of cases that kind of came in that, we didn't really talk a whole lot about. Okie Crime News is in here right now. She's been really being kind of the lead on Athena Brownfield. This is the 4-year-old missing girl. It was a very weird story. We find out that they've never went to a doctor. They weren't enrolled in school. A sister walking down the road couldn't find her sister, telling the postal worker, they left me. We have no idea how long she was left alone. Those details have not been publicly told to us. And we did find out that she was deceased and buried in a former house of the caretakers of her. And we have to say caretakers because they had no documentation to substantiate their ability to take care of these children and have the ability to take them to the doctor and stuff. There was no court order. It doesn't appear that there was any papers signed by the actual biological parents. I heard through the grapevine the biological parents are cooperating. I'm still just in awe that they're not in jail. Like, how do you walk away from your kids? And I don't care if you kept them with, the law is pretty clear as long as you're keeping them with a responsible adult. But the bottom line is if these parents knew that this family had violence and violent tendencies in their home, then they should be charged right along, because that to me was negligence on the real biological parents' part. Just throwing that out there. And then we had Madalena Kojakari, which I went out and personally previewed that case. And I still have some content. There's just a lot going on because we've been so focused with the Idaho 4 that a lot of these cases, these major cases that were going on around the country, weren't really being broadcast here on YouTube. So I went out there. We all know that I've got friends in the biz, people that follow me in the biz. And so once I started going out there and covering it, some major news organizations actually picked up the case and at least touched on it and at least put it on a larger platform to bring awareness to Madalena Kojakari. So a big shout out to News Nation for doing that. I do appreciate it. And there was a couple other ones that have talked about it since then as well. So just a big shout out to the organizations that are picking up this case and following it. So listen to this. Well, let me go through my morning. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I want to step back a little bit and say good morning to everybody. So Guidance, thank you for being the first in the chat, because I'm sure there's many, messages down, and I'm still at message 1. So let me get through some of these, and then we'll get back to the discussion. Good morning, guidance. Crazy Mama Nana, nice to see you. Charlotte Woodfin, nice to see you. SB. Petty Detective. I'm sorry, I get so hung up on that. Good morning. It's nice to see you in here this morning. Merja, it's nice to see you. On my way in to show love that doesn't cost a dime. Smash that sub. Thank you, guidance. Thank you. I forgot to tell them. I've been trying to be good with my mods and popping into the mod chat and saying, hey, I'm going live this morning. A little bit crazier because usually I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I already have, done a mess of research. I've already gotten a video up, something like that, just ready in the percolator. This morning, not so much. It's Sunday. So I decided to kind of chill this morning when I got up. I didn't get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get up until just a few minutes before 6 a.m. And I stayed in bed and kind of thought about the day, showed appreciation. It is Sunday. So I said some prayers for myself. I said some prayers for some friends. I said some prayers for each and every one of you. And I actually said some prayers for the haters out there in the streets of YouTube so they can get some kindness and love in their heart and maybe turn their life over to God, which, I really do hope they do, but I'm not going to hold my breath. But I do believe that we need a little more kindness in this world. Maria, nice to see you. Cindy Lewis, Southern Granny Wolf, always nice to see you in here. I still haven't, I can't find Granny T's to unblock. So I'm wondering, since I went through my, my list, I think it was a gaslighting troll for some reason. I don't know if Granny T is Granny T or not, but I looked in my, my deletes or my block list, and there was no Granny T. So whoever that was has already changed their name. So, I don't feel as bad as I did. But we are bringing it back. We did have to get, and I forewarned my audience that we were going to go a little dramatic, for a few days, get some attention over here. Let the haters complain about Bullhorn Betty a little bit. Stacy, thank you. Thank you. Number 10. I appreciate it. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button. Good morning, Sheila. And, I just wanted to be popular for a little bit, right? I just wanted to take their minds off of other things. We know that Dolly Vision was struggling, and, I don't know if it helped or not, but, I do some fanatic things, fantastic things over here I draw attention away from other people, because if they're complaining about me, I mean, we know they can't walk and chew gum. So if they're complaining about me, they're most likely leaving somebody else alone. So I got the thick skin, I can handle it. And they're just completely predictable and easily played. So every chance I get to do underhanded stuff that I know is underhanded, and they're playing right into it. Quite frankly, I sit back, my mods can tell you, I kind of sit back and chuckle at them, because, I usually forewarn at least my mods before I do something crazy. So they know, they're going to be working. You're going to have to monitor the comments. I expected to get a little bit, crazy here. But we've been doing this a long time, and they're pros at, if they weren't pros before coming to the Bullhorn Betty channel and becoming mods, they are definitely seasoned mods leaving Bullhorn Betty show every single day. Even the new ones that we add on are seasoned by round 1. So, Linda, it's nice to see you. Guidance. Oh, and getting back to Jennifer. And she was kind enough. Oops, I'm ripping the bag. And she was kind enough to donate also 2 reams of paper. 2 reams of paper. So this will absolutely be used. As you can see, this is about all I had left in my paper. Well, there's some right here, but this was really all I had left for paper in the office. This is everything that we had left, and this is out of an entire case of paper. So you can imagine that donation is definitely makes me happy. But, and she asked me, what's the most important thing you need? Like, I could have literally asked her for anything I wanted. And my request was office supplies, so we can continue to do the work that we do behind the scenes for many victims much more than we ever will discuss on here. But sometimes, you do things, in my opinion, it's not always about what is caught on camera. It's not always about talking about the things you do. Sometimes it's just doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. I don't need a pat on the back to send, 20 or 50 flyers to a family or an organization to help their efforts in bringing awareness to a child. So there's a lot of things that we do here that many people have no earthly idea about, and sometimes it's just we have to just bring it up because people don't know. And while the haters are still over there continuing to hate, look at all the great work we have been able to do in this time, over and above all that hate. And it's truly because of the kindness and the love of this audience. We would not be able to do the stuff that we do without each and every one of you. I mean, even the ones that come in here every morning just to chat and have a good time and thumb up a video. You don't understand what that does. That is one of the most important things that you could ever do for this channel and for the other people here, right? Because at the end of the day, no matter what it is, no matter how good work we do, those haters are going to act like we are the devil. It's just not true. So the more that they balk over there, the more people come over here and they're like, oh my gosh, this is legit information. Oh my gosh. They said she was horrible. No, I just tell people if they're rude to me, I'm rude to them. I don't care who you are. You can be green with pink polka dots. You can be the freaking president of the United States. You talk to me like crap. I will personally return that crap right to your front doorstep. That's the problem. They want me to take it. They want to walk all over me. I'm not that girl. Okay? I'm not the girl next door, baby. That just ain't me. It will never be me. But I promise you one thing. What you see is what you get. That's what I can tell you. This was kind of funny. Many of you guys know that I love this language of letting go. For the people that have been with Bullhorn Betty and the Bullhorn Betty channel know about this book. And occasionally, we kind of got away from it because my schedule's gotten so busy and stuff like that. But every now and again, because it sits here on the desk and I do read it. I don't read it as much as I should, but I do read it. And so like today I'm looking over and I'm like, and it does call you. Like when you, I've had this book for, 15 years, well over 15 years. So, I have read this entire book over and over. I've been very dedicated to this book for many, many, many years. And then some years I get away from it and then I go back to it. And it's like a brand new book all over again because you forget what you read last year. And we reread it and we always get something else out of it. So every now and again, I can hear the book literally calling me. So I'll pick it up and it's like, what's going on today? This is hilarious because, and the only reason why I'm reading this is a message for my BFF, Molly Golightly. I don't know where I get where I get my YouTube friends, right? So Dolly, rough, tough, cream puff, right? Man is scared of his own shadow, right? I'm not lying, scared of his own shadow. He's scared to get too close to the tree line, if you know what I'm saying. He's scared that, Jason Voorhees is going to jump out and attack him. But Marissa, OMG. We have done a lot of mountain tours, like Summer Wells, okay? We had 2 vehicles, so usually it was me, Mom, and Olivia in one, and Jonathan was the driver of Marissa in the other. I had no clue of how Marissa is when she's driving in mountains. She's holding the ocean handle. I'm like, girl, get on your phone. You better get on your phone. I'm like, whoo, like this is almost too much. She has anxiety that she's going to go over mountains. And I'm like, you know what you need to do, girl, don't you? And she's like, what? I said, you need to drive through a lot of mountains. She's like, what? Yeah. The speed limit, by the way, not 30 miles an hour, the actual speed limit. You need to get out in your car and literally drive these mountains. Like for a solid month, just get out here and drive these mountains. She's like, why? I said, you need to break your fear of this going off the cliff. Because I'm telling you, she's making me move from once. I drive in the slow lane. I usually use the fast lane to pass. She's making me move from one lane to the other, depending on which side has the embankment that goes further down. So I'm constantly having, like, I'm already having a hard enough time driving in the weather anyways, right? And now she's putting another element. Like, I can't be on this side if the cliff, if she can see down. Right? So anyways, I thought this was, for all of my friends out there that are scared of anything, I think this messaging today goes to you. And it says, stare in the face of your fears, right? Examine your fears. Sometimes we're afraid of specific things. Sometimes we fear the unknown. And sometimes we're just afraid because that's the way we usually feel. Are you nervous, anxious, upset? What's scaring you right now? Well, I can tell you what was scaring her right then was me driving in the mountains. Have a little talk with yourself. Take a look at what you fear. Are you starting a new relationship or job? What's the risk? What's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst that could happen in Marissa's mind is she's going to drive off a cliff and die in a fiery crash off the side of the cliff. What's the worst that could happen? Sometimes it helps to go through our fears one by one. We don't need to dwell on the negative, but we need to be certain that we're willing to take responsibility for the risk involved. When you're driving with Bullhorn Betty, there is a risk involved. Ask Dolly. I had his butt puckering. Okay. Again, my friends seem to have, maybe it's just my driving. Not sure yet. Not sure. Then look at the other direction and see the entire positive potential here. Like not going through the mountains without a screaming lunatic in the seat next to you. I told her, I said, next time I'm going to blindfold you and put those things that draw, that like they're like magnets, but they have little suction cups and they're like little screens, like the pull downs for your windows. We're going to put them on the passenger side of the car. So she's blindfolded. And if she takes the blindfold off, she can't see where we're at or what we're doing. That's the only thing I think that's going to work for her if she doesn't address her fears. Where was I? Then look at the other. Okay, we're at look at the other direction, the entire positive. What can you gain by taking that risk? She could lose her fear of falling off a cliff. Does the thrill of victory outweigh the potential loss? For me personally, I would say yes, but I don't know. We may emerge from the list saying, no, I choose not to risk that. Or we may look at the risk and say, yeah, I've been through worse. I can handle this too. Someone once told me many years ago that fear was a good thing. If you're not feeling afraid, it means you're not doing anything differently. Very interesting. You're just repeating the same old thing. If fear is haunting you, stare it in the face. See what's making you feel afraid. Then either back off or stare that fear down, baby. God help me sort through my fears one by one. Then God guide me in deciding which risks I want to take. Help me not foolhardy. Not be foolhardy. I don't think I've ever heard foolhardy before. But it's here. But help me let go of timidity. Timidity too. And I know they meant timid, whatever. That's what it says. These are older books. They have older language, but I've never heard two of the words that were in there. I may have even pronounced them wrong. I don't know. So there is your stare fear in the face message today. If you guys have fear in your heart, find out why. Good morning, MJ. Nana of 7, Von Hoyt. Nice to see you. Granny H. Guidance is still here. No, I'm just reading. I'm reading. Thank you. Thank you for your love and support. I love you. M&M Racing, SB, Melly Joe. Nice to see you. Just Samantha, Charlotte, Jenny Lou, Selena, Sparkly Blue, Mad Shatter. Nice to see you guys. Sepsis, nice to see you. I hope you made it home yesterday. Much, much, much happier that you were heading home. It just put joy in my heart. I'm not sure why I have all these hiccups whenever I'm talking. I think it's because I'm drinking and talking. So there's something going on. T-Bell, nice to see you. I am Team Summer. Fun time with Heatha. Nice to see you. Did you see the camera footage of the home of the victims? I posted a link in your last video. I will have to look at it. Hold on a second. Let me get it over. These hiccups. Let me get it over on the other side, the other window here. Let me see what we got going on here. I'm assuming on the video I did here. Hold on. Let me get in my studio. Comments. Let me see. Give me just a second. I'm looking now just to see. I don't see the link. Which video did you put the link in? If you want to send it to me, send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com and let me know that you sent it, and I'll run over to my my email and check it, but I can't seem to see it here. Hold on, guys. I try to keep my phone here because the mods always, or not, shouldn't say always, but sometimes have to get a hold of me. Instagram. Okay, that's not from you. Yeah. Fun times with Heatha. If you can send that to me by email, that would be great if you haven't already. Oh, yeah. And I got to talk to you about some other stuff, too. Is this you? Maybe this is you. Homicide Arrest Conference 4/3 on YouTube. Perfect. I'll have to go. We'll go through that as an update. So Scott, there's an email that was, I'm not going to say his last name. I don't even know if it's his email or if he's a troll, but wrote me this horrible, horrible email about me not being a victim's right. So I told, just throw this out there. I don't mince my words when I, when people send me crappy emails. So, and usually when somebody sends me, it's usually F you, don't contact me again, right? This one, I'm not sure why I was so courteous, but they were just going on, dropping F-bombs in this thing. And so I'm like, I just started laughing in my response. I'm like, ha, 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 right? There is no perceived privacy at a store. Try applying the law correctly. And I said, don't contact me again. And they're like, you're absolutely correct. I'm so sorry. This is what I'm talking about, guys. There's real people. And then they go like, well, I sent you an email a few weeks ago. I don't get to all my emails. Do you know how many emails are sitting right here in my email box right now? I try to review them every single day, but sometimes I get 300 or 400. I'm not sitting here for 8 hours going through emails. That's why it's so important that you put important stuff in that headline, because that headline is what captures my attention on whether I review it. It's not that these emails aren't important. It's just that I get an awful lot of them, right? So I try my best and I try to delete the ones out that I review. So I always try to say thank you, but there's sometimes that I'm going through all of this stuff and I only have an hour to get through emails. And I'm just going through the stuff and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. So I'll star them, but I'll forget to respond. Now, I don't know if this person wrote me a few weeks ago or not, but apparently they got their panties in a wad because I did not respond to their email or did not. I can promise you, I didn't even read it. So it's not that I didn't respond, and it's not that I didn't even agree with this, Scott. I just had no earthly idea it was sent to me because I've got 4,126 emails, active emails. These are the ones that are unread sitting in my email box just for the people out there. That's why whenever I say send me an email right now and put this in the headline, I do that for a purpose because I want to be able to see it. If you guys want to get my attention, usually the best thing to do is put like a stop sign in the title, put your YouTube name in the title, write important with exclamation marks, and then write a little snippet of what it is. So when I read that title, I say, oh, this is something that I would like to see. For example, Susie Sue sends me a YouTube, and it says watching surviving roommate DM November rumor WSU. So it's already telling me this is about the Idaho 4, and it's already giving me an idea of what is contained inside that video that I may want to review and look at. So those are the types of things, you know, when somebody writes and doesn't really have like a subject line in it, it's hard unless I capture a name, such as Cindy sent me a good article that was didn't have a subject line, but I did open it, and it was the nice, beautiful mock-ups of the floor plan for the Idaho 4. So even without the subject line, I still happened to run across it because it was at the top of the page. That's usually the best time. I will tell you, the best time usually to email me is, if you want my attention, is right after a live goes down, because right after the live goes down, I usually go right over to the emails and check all the emails. I try to do it before lives, but sometimes it distracts me because I'm getting my mind prepared on the subject line that we're going to be discussing here. So just a little food for thought for those GM. Good morning, all. Yeah, Heath, just send me that through the email. I'm in my emails right now. I'll take a look at it. Heather B. Beachy, it's nice to see you. We're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning to everybody else that I have missed. I kind of want to get started on this, the meat and potatoes of why we're here, and I want to get your opinions on everything related to this case. So this case actually happened on January 13th. I remember some people talking about it, but outside of the initial, storyline, everybody reverted right back to like Idaho 4. And I know that the Idaho 4 case is, dominating YouTube, but there's other cases going on. And quite frankly, it's stagnant right now. The only thing that's really new in the Idaho 4 is we've finally got the Gonzalez attorney, as well as some media, now actually motioning the court and saying that you're violating the First Amendment to the Constitution. One, here it is. Steve Gonzalez is saying, hey, we're not a party to this case. We're the parents of the victim. We're not witnesses in this case. We have no knowledge. And you're gag ordering us. You're violating our First Amendment to the Constitution because you have no authority to gag us. None. So they're fighting back on that. And now a news organization, and I can't remember which one it is. It's something like Fox 4 or Fox 5. It might not even be a Fox station, but I remember hearing the number 4 or 5. I can't remember which one I heard. But they're actually motioning the court to say, hey, you're unreasonably locking the public out of this court case. You can't do that. So it looks like right now the judge is going to be challenged on this gag order. This is a public trial. You can't block the public out of a public trial. We've been very courteous to the judge and to the detectives and in this investigation. But this idea, first of all, the defense is entitled to any evidence they have against them, period. So this idea that they're going to throw left balls and curve balls and all this other stuff, look, you play those kind of games, that's a great way to get yourself an appeal. We have a situation with Ann Taylor that is creating an appealable problem in this case for Bryan Kohberger, and it's really uncomfortable for me. People may say, well, I don't have a problem with it. I don't care. I mean, at the end of the day, if it's going to cause an appealable, if it's going to be, the case is going to be appealed and could get him off the hook on a technicality, I got a problem with that. I got a big problem with that. There's laws in place for purposes, you know, and this is clouding the defense and the ability to properly defend Bryan Kohberger. And if you ineffective counsel is a great appeal for Bryan Kohberger. Ineffectiveness of counsel, also a great appealable, is a conflict of interest of his counsel that wasn't readily known to him. And even though we're bringing it up here on YouTube, it's like, how can nobody know? He's in solitary confinement. How does he know? Unless he's told. And is Ann Taylor going to go up there and say, hey, you know, I got this problem. I was representing one of your victims' moms, and it's creating this cloud of conflict. I need you to waive your rights to this conflict. He may say no. He could. Kara Kernodle could say, no, I'm not signing that. So we need to get that resolved in there. So we've got a lot of stuff, and this is the problem I'm having. Like, we've got all these questions, and we're being blocked out, inappropriately blocked out from the court record. They've removed it from iCourt. It is amazing to me that people are even receiving or showing dockets. So I have a whole file of court records for Bryan Kohberger, and I think that they're pulling out the stuff that we've already have in our possession that we were able to get before the gag order, and they're just talking about it as they're reviewing this stuff. That's what I think is happening. But I'll have to check my file to see if I have some of these documents, because if I'm not getting some of these documents and they're somehow being given to other organizations, other media organizations, I've got a problem with that. That is a violation of law. That is a violation of law. So we've got a lot of legal maneuvering for the media aspect of the Bryan Kohberger case. At the end of the day, the law is the law. It's pretty black and white. Even the judges have to follow the law. So we're going to see where this goes, but I have a funny feeling the gag order is going to be lifted or lightened, extremely lightened, moving forward. We're already through, you know, March. How much more investigation can this, you know, of significant value? You know, they may be trying to dot some I's and cross some T's, but how much more investigating that's going to provide significant value to the case that we as the public need to be prevented from seeing? Okay. Like even the first gag order, how they had to hold that affidavit because of great public, what were they say, like, it was going to harm the public greatly. We read it and like, how does this harm the public? You're using, I don't like it when law, especially this type of trial. It's a murder trial. Put the games out the window. Those are the technicalities that people appeal on and win. Stop the BS. Play the game properly. Quit doing underhanded shit. Excuse my language, but that's how I feel about it. Quit doing underhanded stuff. You're not going, the defense is entitled to all of the information and evidence against them, period. You trying to hold and withhold evidence from the defense is a real bad decision. It's a real bad decision. So this all needs to be done in the light. This needs to be done in public. This is a public trial of this man. And there is freedom of press and First Amendment constitutional freedom of speech that are involved, that's being hindered by this attorney or by the attorneys, as well as the judge not applying the law properly in this particular matter. So I am looking at seeing what transpires, but in all fairness, there's not really a whole lot going on in that case. That's it. Now you're going to be on this channel and that channel. They're going to be dissecting this and dissecting that. You're going to be going back to square one, and now we're going to be looking at Jack D and Jack S and Jake and all them all over again, because these yahoos have nothing to talk about, better to talk about than keep dragging out the Idaho 4. That is all we have in the Idaho 4. That is the factual information related to that case. So I'm very interested in what's going to go on there. Thank you, Sepsis Kills. That's for Sonia Nicely. She's in our chat. She's one of my mods. She's been designing shirts for Bullhorn Betty and channel for some time. She's got some great designs, much better than the ones I have on Teespring. I'm actually working on a new design to hit Kitty Kitty right in his kitty kitty. And that'll be coming out here in the next few weeks. And this is honestly, this is an effort to smack him around. You know, I'm going to put your face on a shirt, and it's going to be my photo of you on a shirt. No copyrights, no names, no nothing. You're not going to be able to take this shirt down because it's all mine. And guess what, Kitty Kitty? Next time one of our people have a family member that dies, show them the same respect we showed you. Because now I'm going to be making bank off your booty, Kitty Kitty. Bank. Because when this shirt's finished designing and finished out of the design phase, people are going to be buying it up. And you know what? It's going to be my middle finger to you, little boy. We gave you breathing room when your sister passed away and you wanted to dog Dolly. I'm going to make sure that Dolly gets paid for that. For his time and aggravation. Kitty Kitty. But anyways, that's going to be the shirt on Teespring, which, you know, I much rather have Sonia make the money from these things and support her business. She does a lot of great stuff. We need I would like you to throw some of those, Sonia, if you can, throw some of your Bullhorn Betty designs up in our true crime chat on Bullhorn Betty channel so they can see which ones to pick. Because I am working on raffling some shirts off. I'm thinking that the tickets are going to be like $1 or $2. You can, or like 3 for $5, you know, something like that. I think they're probably going to be $2 a ticket or 3 for $5. And it's going to be all done. It's going to be completely separated from YouTube. We are going to advertise the raffle on the third-party site on YouTube. You'll have the links for that. And we're going to do the drawing through the app, the other app, but we're going to be recognizing the winners on YouTube. So we're keeping the raffle completely off YouTube. They can't prevent me from, you know, speaking the winner on here or even showing the drawing on here. So, but we are not going to be doing the raffle specifically on YouTube. It's not going to be ran or generated on YouTube. You can't use super chat, super thanks, or anything like that to sign up. It's going to be from a complete third party. And we're going to be giving away shirts. I have committed to 4 shirts. And what's going to be great is I'm going to be paying Sonia directly. So you get to pick the stylish shirt you want and the size. There's no point in me having her send me a small, medium, large, and extra large here to the house. Right. And then I have to turn around and ship it right out to you guys. And then I have to hope that I've got the right size for you after a shirt. But this is going to be easier because she's already going to be compensated for the shirts and she can ship directly from her store to you. And you can pick any design that you want and any size shirt that you want. You know, I think there might be an additional cost if we go past, I think, 2X, but just let me know if we need to go past 2X. I don't have spirit of fear, but a sound mind. I stand loudly in the most three dangerous cities in North Carolina. No, I speak out loudly here in Reidsville, North Carolina. Well, good for you. I love that. I love that, Tammy. Yeah, I don't care where I'm at either. I really don't. I could be sitting. I probably and there's some places that I would go that I would, you know, pray and tell, you know, make plans, you know, in case I didn't come back. It's sad, but that's part of the job. I know I put myself in harm's way in many of these jobs. It's part of the job, and I'll continue to do it. If I had to sit in the middle of the ghetto in Chicago with my bullhorn, I'd probably be shot. But it was to be something that if it was worth me going out there with my bullhorn, I would do. All right. So how many people I'm going to go ahead and get past this. Good morning. Oh, I missed somebody. Hold on a second. Sorry. Sepsis. Oh, thank you, Love Bug. Thank you. I'm so happy. I'm hoping you're home because of the conversation we had yesterday. I'm hoping that you made it home. And I was actually really excited that you weren't being able to mod yesterday's live because I was so much happier knowing that you were going home. So it was, I hope you're there. I hope you're there. Let's get back to what we're going to be talking about here. I know we were first talking about some of the cases that we haven't been able to cover too much. You know, the Athena Brownfield Okie crime news has really been keeping us up to date on that. She's been texting me. I haven't really heard, so I guess it's dying down just a little bit with the courts and stuff like that. And then we have Madalena Kojakari, which, you know, I went out there personally. I still have some content that I want to get out, primarily the conversation. I couldn't bring the guy on camera, but it was a conversation I had with a groundskeeper. Well, not really a groundskeeper. He was a little more than that at the school because I went to the school while it was closed and apparently somebody was there. So I got to have a conversation with that person. However, that person would not go on the record, but I did, you know, basically at the time, you know, after I spoke with them, I went live and kind of buttoned up that conversation. And they were basically saying, you know, how what all transpired and how she was known to be missing. And it was very upsetting, but it's what we all have been hearing about how, but there was more that went into it as well. There was more that went into it as well. It wasn't just one resource officer that went to the house. It sounds like there was a few trips to the house. And finally, the mom came into the school on the 10th or 15th day and basically said, my daughter's missing. You know, they were ready to, and that's when they called the law. So still, even after people beating on that door, the school's demanding where is Madalena? Mom hid herself inside the home, did not want to come out. Then she was forced to, instead of her calling law enforcement, she went up to the school to report her child missing. After all of these days, these things just didn't sound right. These are not actions of parents that have no issue here. So, oh, Brandy. Okay, I can't see it on this side. Thank you, Sepsis. Brandy221 gifted 2 memberships today. Big shout out to Brandy221. Thank you, Sepsis, for letting me know that. I don't see those on this side. I only see them on one side of this. So God bless you, Brandy. Thank you so much for your love and support of this channel. The other case is that we kind of fell through, but we've been keeping you guys updated on was Harmony Montgomery. As many of you guys know, Adam Montgomery has now been indicted for he's been indicted for second-degree murder charges in connection with his missing daughter, Harmony Montgomery. It's a sad reality, but we knew this was not going to be ending very well with her after getting all the evidence and all the information that we got about the home and the environment in which she was subjected to. Another one is Oakley Carlson. She is not found yet, and the foster parents are still have a reward for her. They're still trying to find any information to the whereabouts of her. Guys, we need to find her. You know, if anybody knows her real parents, Oakley Carlson, I want to know about them. I want to know where they frequent. I want to know where they've lived. I want to know everything I can know about them. That child is somewhere where they went. That child is somewhere where they feel comfortable being. That child might be in and around that property. I don't know. But I have a funny feeling it's going to be something similar to Athena. I think that's exactly what happened to Cody Bigsby. I think that the father went to a place that he was comfortable, that he knew nobody was there, like a prior living residence. And I hope that they are looking for all that. He's been in jail for a year, Corey Bigsby. And, you know, I kind of feel like that's where it's at with these kids. Now, we also know that there's been a lot of parents using trash receptacles because it's the easiest disposal for a child. You know, you throw it in a garbage bag. It looks like normal garbage. Throw some paper on top, and there you have it. Right? Nobody is the wiser, and people are smartening up to that. And I think that every time we have a missing child, it should be standard operating procedures to stop the trash and segregate that trash at whatever landfill would be theirs. I think it has to start going like that, because we're realizing these children are disappearing. Where are they going? If they're not above the ground, they're on top of the ground, or if they're not below the ground, they're on top of the ground. Well, how can you get rid of something in plain sight? Do a Leilani Simon, right? Do a Leilani Simon. That's how. And I truly believe that may very well be where Summer's at. You know, I'm unsure. I'm unsure. So getting back, so that just kind of covers the kids. We spent an hour covering other cases. We covered Madalena Kojakari. We covered Cody Bigsby very briefly. Oops, guys, give me just a second. I just realized I have no charger hooked and I'm about to go down. I have two computers. You would think one would be for the room and one would be for here, but the second computer I have is the reason why I have this computer, right? So we're getting, ooh, why is this not, it always fits. There we go. All right, guys, we're almost charged up. Almost. There we go. Okay, we got charged. So, anyways, we went over Madalena, Athena. We touched on Summer Wells. We even have a video on Summer Wells. Yesterday was Summer Wells' birthday, as we stated here yesterday. I was a little disappointed in the one statement we've received. And, you know, a lot of people were like, "Oh, thank you for remembering her, and thank you for taking a few moments to celebrate." You know, this gushing stuff with TBI, and of course you get Bullhorn Betty. I didn't make a comment on it, but I made a video. Like, dude, you guys, we've taken our feet off your neck for a solid year, and the best you got to give us for an update is happy birthday, Summer Wells. We haven't forgotten about you. Well, it's been a year. You couldn't find anything other than that to tell the public about this child? Like, what the hell have you guys been doing for a year? You told us. You told social media. You told the people advocating. You told Summer's Army. If we just back up and just give you guys some breathing room, you guys would work better. Well, we've done that. And what do you have to show for that? What do you have to show for that except a cold case? So all these law enforcement out there that try to sit here and point the finger at social media being the problem. No, we're not the problem. We're just the mouth. We're just the people that make sure you realize we're still here and we want answers. We got nothing in a freaking year from TBI or Hawkins County. But we definitely know Ronnie Lawson's son, after tiddling with kids, gets a slap on the wrist and sent home. We know that. They can charge that case under, not in the public. They can be corrupted. It's all hell with that case. But good Lord, let's not say anything about Summer Wells. Ronnie, was your son ever over at the Doyle's property? I'm just curious. I'm sorry. I'm just curious. Because something stinks to high heaven in Hawkins County. And I'll be back. Might be by myself. But I'm a one-man show. I'll be back. I got my signs. I have never gotten rid of my signs. Hold on. Let's see if we got them all. I think we got them. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We still have them. We still have them. And guess what? We used these last year. I'm going to be using it again this year. Sad. It is winter. Where is summer? That's what I'd like to know. So we're already ready to rock and roll for Tennessee, which many of you guys know I'm going to be going this month to Tennessee. Actually, not too long away. I'm meeting an attorney for a complete, she's part of the inspiration for why I'm meeting that attorney, because we're going to be advocating for our centralized database. I may be a little crazy on YouTube. I may have this channel. We may talk about a lot of stuff. I may tell people to go F off whenever I feel like it. You know, I'm controversial. I'm brash. I'm abrasive. I get it. And many of you guys love it. But one thing I am is I have a heart, and I see a major problem, and I want to help fix it. And so I take that passion and I put it toward good uses, such as really advocating for our children. You know, people are like, oh, you don't do nothing. Really? I don't see you traveling all over the country advocating for these children. I don't see you getting off your, now I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about the haters. We know, because everybody that supports me and these missions, to be honest with you, you guys are doing it with me. You guys can't physically do it with me, but you are doing it with me. But these haters that keep dogging the work that we do, what have they done? People need to start asking, what have they done? They've been profiting off these children's names. Yeah. Every time they go on there and say, oh my God, did you hear what Bullhorn Betty said about Summer Wells? Right? They've been profiting off these babies' names. They've been grifting, right? Because I'm not a grifter. I don't do petty swindling. I don't lie to my audience. I'm very transparent. People know exactly what I'm doing with their money and where it's going. It's going to these cases. It's going to expenses. This stuff ain't cheap. Right? But I'm getting off my butt and I'm going out there. And it's not just about these cases. I'm literally meeting with people around this country to push the centralized database. This is going to be a major campaign. But guess what? When it is done, when we have effectively made change in our child welfare system, what are they going to say then? What did you do? I got off my ass and made changes. What did you do? Right? There's going to be a lot of eating of crow over the next few years. Right? So anyways, I'm going to be meeting with this attorney. Already got a date, already got the time set up with the law firm, everything. I can't wait to meet with them. For those people that want to send me some information, I'm going to be presenting to this law firm. I'm going to be presenting them facts and statistics. The bottom line is our welfare laws have not changed since 1965. Okay? We now have gaming systems. We now have televisions. We now have social media. We have the internet. We have all of these things that we did not have back in 1965. I don't even know what the hell they had in 1965. Why is that? Because I was born in 1979. They haven't changed the child welfare laws since before I was born, and I got gray hair and wrinkles. What? You have got to be kidding me. All right. Well, so getting back onto the topic of conversation, this is about the Cali 6. I tagged them as Cali 6 because, you know, we need to keep things short and sweet so people can research and find information. So anybody that's covering this case, I definitely behoove you guys to be using the tag hashtag Cali 6. This is where this family, now let's just give you guys a little backstory. Tommy Larson changed what exactly? Changing the laws, changing child welfare laws. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to update our laws. We're trying to make sure we have a centralized database. So let me just take a few moments before we get into this and explain for all those that don't understand what the centralized database does. There's such thing as called state hopping. Okay, this is where a parent has children in one state and is getting in trouble and is getting ready to lose their children in that state. So instead of them, they call, you know, Aunt Millie and say, hey, Aunt Millie, I can't find a job here. I need help. I need ways to get out of here. So Aunt Millie says, okay, honey, well, why don't you come up here to Arkansas? So now the family leaves Florida and heads to Arkansas right before they're ready to take the children. Now, Florida has no idea where these kids are. They're no longer communicating with them. Their file starts getting dust on it. Now we have Arkansas, because Florida doesn't communicate with Arkansas. Arkansas, one, doesn't know this family's even living in their community, and two, doesn't realize that those children were about to be taken from that parent's custody or parents. So now they're in Arkansas. Now Arkansas gets notifications that these kids are bruised, they're dirty, they're filthy, they're not being well taken care of. You know, there's fights and stuff going on. Okay, so this person goes into their system and types in their name. Their system shows, oh, this must be the first time we're seeing this child in this case, never realizing that there is a case open in Florida. Now they're going in there and they're like, well, you know, you may need to get some parenting classes or blah, blah, blah. And this person blows that off. They're too busy doing drugs, drinking. Aunt Millie's taking care of them now. Now they're getting ready to have their kids because they're not following the orders of the child welfare, and they jump to another state. There's such thing as state hopping. This centralized database prevents that, because what they do is when you type in that person's social security number, every contact that they've ever had with any social services around this country will be brought up into that system. Not only that, when they want to try to state hop, if they have an open system, an open case in Florida, when they take and file, kind of like how you sign up for voting, right? You go into the DMV, you get your license, but now it triggers in the system. So if you have an open case in Florida, now Arkansas, where you just put you just changed your address to, is now being notified saying, hey, we had an open case in Florida. We need you to go do a home check and a welfare check on these children. Furthermore, it's even more safe for the social workers themselves. How is that possible? Because now they get to see the notes from the other social workers that have dealt with this family to know if there's SA allegations, if there's abuse in the home, or if they have exhibited violent behavior toward those social workers. This is all done in this centralized database by just simply clicking a social security number, because all that stuff now is required. They are being forced. Each state, it's called forced cooperation. The United States of America says, we need this database. You must submit, you shall submit all your documentations from all these cases into the system. Now it's going to be just like the court systems when we all upgraded to online with the court records. There are going to just be some files that will never, ever be put into that system because of the length of time it was, because they were damaged or destroyed, because a lot of stuff is done through paper as opposed to computers. But this is what the centralized database is all about. It's to hold each state and each social worker accountable for them. It'll also be a good tickler system for them for when they get these anonymous calls, like in this case of Ariel Rose, where her grandfather and uncle kept calling into the Department of Children and Family Services saying that she was in jeopardy. She was living in a homeless camp, and that homeless camp had a lot of drugs around them. Those social workers did not even get off their butt to go check on those allegations, and that little child died from fentanyl ingestion. These are things that will help the system. We need meaningful change in our child welfare system. And quite frankly, there are a lot of organizations that are doing it, but there are none that are willing to do it like Bullhorn Betty. So we're reaching out to the decision makers. We're not just stomping down a road. We're getting in front of the politicians across this country that can really take this and drive it home. The problem that is we're going to run into is the cost. But anything like this, even our federal system, right? The criminals, the CODIS database cost us lots and lots and lots of money, right? I can't find any other thing to spend a shit ton of money on than our children and protecting our children. So it is something that that is a nonpartisan, a bipartisan type of agenda. It's something that I think both sides of the aisle should be able to get behind, because at the end of the day, what do we want? We want safety. We want good jobs. We want good schools. We want clean communities to live in. And more importantly, we want our children educated and being productive members of our society. So I think that's what we all can agree that we like, at least the foundation in which we can build some meaningful legislation to protect our children. Just saying. So that is the aspect of this whole centralized database. Tommy, I hope I answered your question with it. Now we're going to get on to the Cali 6. And this is a crazy story. And there's so many things that the sheriff, and I kept saying, what did I say? Tulane, but it's Tulare County. So I apologize for that misspeaking. I thought he said Tulane. I kept trying to read it. I couldn't find, because no article really had that I was reading really actually had the county put in there. They kept saying Goshen or whatever that name is, but not the county. So I apologize for the mistype and the mispronunciation of that. But some of the things that the sheriff said were very alarming. And a part of that was the fact these people, this appeared, I mean, he kept focusing on the cartel and gang affiliation type of banter when he was up there. We know that this had to have been pretty bad because of the circumstances around it. This was a known house that had gang affiliated ties to it. Law enforcement knew that, had drug related ties to it. They had just went into that house and arrested, I can't even pronounce his name. It was the grandfather, El Dorado. What is his name? I don't want to misspeak it. Give me just a second. Let me look it up. Eladio. I can't. Eladio. That's it. Eladio. I think that's the pronunciation. Eladio, which was like the grandfather. His mother was killed in her sleep in her bed, which was very, she was innocent. Okay. I believe Eladio was the kind of the person behind this. He seemed like the heavy hitter, so to speak. So I believe Eladio and his girlfriend, Jennifer, were really the ones behind all of this. I think they were both affiliated very well. Now, granted, the son may have as well, but there was, another person there, which was the 16-year-old and her son, her 10-month-old son. And there was other victims. There was 3 surviving people, but this was a hit. This wasn't anything other than a hit. And this was in a small county, a small town of Goshen, which is like only has about 3,000 people in it. So very small. People know everybody. But the one thing that this sheriff scared me about is that these people are starting to come into our areas and living in plain sight. Nobody even knows that they're head honchos in these things because they're out in the country living, and until something like this happens. That's scary for me. That's very, very scary for me. A 10-month-old child lost its life because of this nonsense. And here's the kicker. I feel like law enforcement made them sitting ducks. I really do. They had just went into that home and cleared that home of the narcotics and a plethora of guns and arrested Eladio, and he was able to bail out 4 days later. If that was public and people knew that they had just been raided and that all their guns were removed, they're sitting ducks. The other side is going to say, hey, now's the time. Now's the time. If we're going to get them, now would be the time. They just got raided. All their weapons are gone. They are sitting there, like sitting ducks. So I don't know how, I mean, granted, we don't want felons in possession of guns. But here we have a 16-year-old child that was a sitting duck with her 10-month-old child. Sitting duck. Grandma sitting duck. They had no protection and living in the danger of that. So it was a little hard, right? So very interested in this case. I'm going to open up the phone lines. I know before I open up the phone lines, by the show of ones, by the show of number ones, let me check my email real quick to see if anything came in while I was talking. Oh, we got something. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Let me get some sound over here. Give me, guys, just a second. Let me see if I can open this up without doxing you first. Okay. So here it is. We're going to go through it. This is the event that we're talking about. We're getting some stuff in our emails about this. So I'm just going to bring this stuff up so you guys can see it. I may have to mute if it's got, copyrighted songs or anything like that behind it, but we can at least go through it. So let me go ahead and kick this down and open up a new window that can hold sound. Okay, let me pull this up. All right, here we go. See what kind of stuff.
Hello, ma'am. Do you have any emergency? Yeah. What's going on? On Harvest, Goshen. Okay. Do you live in an apartment or is this a home? Okay. What's going on?
They shot my boyfriend. And they keep shooting outside. But I don't know if they're still here. I'm scared because they're still shooting outside. Please hurry, please. I don't know where they are now. Oh, they're still shooting.
They're still shooting?
Yes. Hurry, please. They're coming back. They're coming back. Oh, they're coming back in.
Who's coming back in?
The guys. Please hurry. Come on. You hear? Someone else is screaming now. No, that's them shooting in the house.
What do you hear now?
Nothing. I don't know if they're out there. I'm too scared. I hear
The 16-year-old just threw the kid over.
My boyfriend.
You guys follow her out.
Is he breathing?
Is he breathing? Yeah, he's still breathing. He's still breathing. Hold on, baby. Hold on, please.
We have help on the way. Okay, I have the officer right around the corner.
It's okay, baby. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. They're here. Okay, they're here. Right here. Come in here. Come here. Watch your feet. Okay, they're here with me. Okay.
You're there. Okay, you did. Let me help you.
So that was one of the 911 calls that were coming in. Part of that picture on TikTok, you could see the surveillance camera of the 16-year-old dropping her 10-month-old child over the fence, not the open, like there was wood fence and a gated fence, and she put the child over the wooded fence. And I think she did that for a barrier. And she jumped over the fence, and you saw two guys going after her. Nothing graphic was seen in this video, but you did get kind of a lay of the land, so to speak, as to what happened. And actually, let me just go ahead and play that for you guys again, for those that are just now coming in. Don't forget to hit the like button. This is the 911, one of the 911 calls that came in to it. I wish there was a way I could make this bigger. Maybe I can. Can I? Exit full screen. I almost want to make this bigger. There we go. Hold on.
Hello, ma'am. Do you have any emergency?
Yeah.
What's going on?
On Harvest, Goshen.
Okay. Do you live in an apartment or is this a home?
Oh my.
Okay. What's going on?
They shot my boyfriend. And they keep shooting outside. But I don't know if they're still here. I'm scared because they're still shooting outside. Please hurry, please. I don't know where they are now. Oh, they're still shooting.
They're still shooting?
Yes. Hurry, please. They're coming back. They're coming back. Oh, they're coming back in.
Who's coming back in?
The guys, please hurry. Come on.
They weren't even wearing masks.
Someone else is screaming now.
And there she is throwing a baby over the wood.
What do you hear now?
And she's
Nothing.
trying to
I
climb
don't
over
know
the
if they're
fence.
out there. I'm
And
too
as she's
scared.
getting over the
I
fence,
hear sirens coming.
there's the guys coming after her.
My boyfriend is on the floor, shot in the stomach.
Is he breathing?
Is he breathing? Yeah, he's still breathing. He's still breathing. Hold on, baby. Hold on, please.
We have help on the way, okay? I have the officer right around the corner.
It's okay, baby. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it through here. Okay.
So they're there. Just heartbreaking, chilling 911 call, some surveillance video from around the house. That photo of that was the house. So yeah, thank you, Heather, for sending that. The Dylan Morton theory. Let's see what this is. If it's just something I can. Here's something that's, hold on. This is from Crime Theorist. I don't know what this is. This is just popping up, so we're going to be listening to it together. Give me just a second. Let me pull this up. I'm not going to be, because I don't know what's on it. You guys are just going to be listening to it. We're not going to be watching it unless something comes up.
So after hearing Dylan Martinson's affidavit and finding out she was living on the second floor across the way from Xana and her room being directly under the stairs, and then Dylan admitting to hearing noises on 3 different occasions, Dylan said the first time she heard noise upstairs, she thought it was just Kaylee playing with her dog Murphy. Dylan also said the second time she heard noise above her and she heard Kaylee saying someone was here. Dylan said the third time she opened up her door, she heard Xana across the way crying and heard an identifiable man's voice. Then she saw the man walk out in front of her and she froze and she saw him walk out the screen door. Then she locked her door, and that's the story we have heard for now. After hearing this, I decided.
And I just want to say the whole, when you're in shock, you're frozen. Okay. She snapped out of the shock. Okay. People are on the shock theory. I've been in shock 2 times in my life. One time when my parents almost died in a car wreck, and one time when my dog got injured very bad and I freaked out. So I've experienced shock myself. I experienced the mind blank, and I experienced the snap out of it phase as well. And she had to have snapped out of it to close that door and to think to lock it. Because when you're in shock, your mind is blank. You are confused. You can't think. Like, you literally can't think. Shock. Now, people may say they were in shock, but not true shock. When you're in shock, you are frozen. Your body is shaking in places you didn't know could shake, and your brain is a blank slate. There is literally nothing there. That is shock. There's nothing there. She shut her door and locked it. That implies there was something there. I just want to clarify that.
To look into Dylan just a little more, because a lot of what she says doesn't make sense or add up to me at all. Again, this would just be my opinion.
And a lot of this, so far, he has a lot of our opinions in this as well. And then we'll get back to the Cali 6.
It's mostly just speculation. There is not many facts to add into this or facts behind anything that I'm saying at all. Also, I do know that Brian Kohlberger was charged in the murder of the 4, but right now, he's just been charged. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty.
I agree with that. In a court of law.
And I'm not accusing Dylan of knowing anything or doing anything in this situation, but I do think that, in my own opinion, Dylan may know more than she lets off about this whole situation.
I think that there's 2 things here. There's missing pieces of information we do not have. Period. We do not have specific information related, even Bethany. Even Bethany. If we were to pull up this whole thing about Bethany, there is literally one blurb in Brett Payne's affidavit about Bethany, other than she was home. So, allegedly, according to this affidavit, she was home at the time on the very first floor. So the one kicker I have with this is we were told from the beginning that there were 2 other roommates that were out in the Moscow area, but weren't at the Corner Club and weren't at Sigma Chi. That's what we were told. Now, we realized there was a lot of details law enforcement told us, and we were being used to deceive Brian Kohberger. They were telling us information, hoping we would get this information out the way they wanted it to get out. Because remember, the only factual information we're allowed to rely on is from law enforcement. But how can we rely on law enforcement for their facts when they willfully and intentionally deceive us? So there's going to be that's going to have some blowback in future cases when law enforcement is giving us detail, because we are going to automatically, because of this experience, automatically be asking, is law enforcement telling us the truth or not? How can we, as the press, as the public, tell details of a case because we're only allowed to rely on the factual information law enforcement's giving us, and then we find out that law enforcement deceived us? Now, granted, like I said before, I'm not mad at them. I understand why they did it. But there is going to be complications that come because of it. And one of it is that we are going to even ramp up our work behind the scenes when these cases break, because we're not going to be relying 100% on law enforcement as they would like us to, because we know that they have intentionally deceived us in the past, and they will intentionally deceive us moving forward. And granted, they got their guy in record time. I'm not angry with that. At the end of the day, that's the name of the game. We want the bad people put away behind bars as quickly as possible. And if that means they are going to deceive us, then, that's what we're going to have to deal with. But don't tell the audience and the public that you can only go to law enforcement for factual information when the information peddled by law enforcement is not factual and is not information. So there will be some kickback on that. Amy says they're stalling JLR with Pullman Police Department FOIA requests on Kohberger. I reached out to Pullman Police Department, and they sent me a response back saying they had nothing. Now, he might be looking for their, his records when he tried to apply there as an assistant. Maybe that's what they're holding up for, because that actually might be used in the actual case against him for evidentiary value. So there may be some of that there. But again, this is a public trial. They can only withhold that information for so long. They are required to turn that over. They have to turn that over. Trigger Happy says, since we know we do not have info, law enforcement does. They believe they have the murderer in custody. I believe it is irresponsible to put a target on the back of DM or BF. Irresponsible. Well, at the end of the day, they didn't put the target on their back. The facts of the case are the facts of the case. As the only people, in all fairness, that put the target on Dylan Mortenson's back is Dylan Mortenson, in my opinion. She should have called the law enforcement. Now, granted, that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to bash over a victim. These are conversations that we have to have because they are going to be brought into the court record. They are going to be discussed as part of the trial. Believe that. And she has given the defense a huge opportunity, a huge 8-hour window to fill with a whole bunch of doubt, to poison the jury pool. Nobody did that for her. She did that all by herself. So I feel that some people have bleeding hearts, and they don't hold people accountable because they feel bad for them. Okay. I'm not a feel bad for them type of person. Okay. I feel bad for them. Yes. But at the end of the day, They made their own decision. They made their own bed. If I woke up tomorrow and made a poor decision for myself, who is ultimately responsible for that poor decision? Is it the haters that pick up on that poor decision and blast it all over YouTube? Or is it from me? If I make a poor decision that is blasted all over YouTube, and by the way, I have, in all fairness, Trigger Happy, I have no pity for anybody because I have been raked through the mud and had to do it with a smile on my face. I am a victim as well. I am a victim of SA. I'm a victim of abuse from a child. And none of my haters can sit there and say, I brought the abuse on myself. I was a kid. Do you think I get pity from people out there on YouTube for the life I lived? Of course not. But they have no problem clubbing me over the head every time I make a mistake. They can't even spell tragedy while they're trying to insult me and call me a tragedy pimp. But me saying October as opposed to November when I'm talking and didn't realize I said October, trust me, there's 15 freaking videos on my mistake. So of all people, I'm not the emotional, feel-good, pity person. I don't pity anybody. I don't pity anybody. She's an adult. She made a decision, and she has to live with that decision. Target on her back. That's not what they did. Those are facts of the case. That's not putting, you can't say we need facts and then complain that we have facts because I put the target. She did this to her. Like, she made those decisions. Guys, I mean, let's be honest. If we're going to have an adult conversation about this, let's be honest. Nobody told her to wait 8 hours to call law enforcement after seeing a masked intruder in her home and somebody whimpering literally in the room next door. Nobody told her to do that. Nobody put that target on her back. Kids make poor decisions and they have to deal with them. I had a friend in high school that made a poor decision with his best friend to go out to Rye Road and drink. His best friend never made it back. He spent 10 years in jail. Okay? 10 years in jail for that. Do you think that people pitied him for making a poor decision? I don't live in an emotional world. I live in a factual world, a realistic world. When we start saying that it's somebody else's fault for the actions of this person, at the end of the day, it's facts of the case. They have to come out. There's no target on anybody's back. They have to do their job. They have to do their job. Dylan made this decision for herself. That's something she's going to have to live with. Nobody made that decision for her. Nobody. And I know it hurts some people's feelings to hear me talk like that, but it is what it is. I can't go back and change those facts. Right? Would we have liked to Dylan to have done things differently? Of course we would. You know, do I feel bad that she's going through a lot of stuff that she shouldn't be? Of course I do. But at the end of the day, we didn't do that to her. Brian Koberger did. Brian Koberger put her in the middle of this. But the flip side of it is if he known she was in that room, she could have probably been dead too. She should be thankful. If this is what she has to deal with for a small period of time because she has her life, this is the worst it's going to get for her. She's doing pretty stinking good. This too shall pass. But don't blame people for talking about stuff and putting a target on. Nobody put a target on her back. And if you want to blame anybody for it, blame Brian Koberger. Because he's the one that put her in this position. I didn't do it. You didn't do it. None of our audience did it. None of our audience told her to wait 8 hours before calling 911 either. Nobody put a target on her back. If anybody is to blame for any of this, it is Brian Koberger. If anybody's going to blame about the gap of window as to why there is now a defense for Brian Koberger, that would be Dylan Mortensen. Those are facts. Those are facts that we cannot dispute and that cannot be unchanged. I do consider DM a witness. I do in part believe she is a victim. That is different from some of my counterparts, and it upsets people that I say that. But she wasn't harmed. She was in the house when this happened, so that does make her a victim of at least a burglary or a robbery. But it doesn't make her a victim of a homicide. So she is definitely a witness to the crimes that happened against her roommates. She is definitely that. She is definitely a victim of a burglary of an occupied dwelling. That I give her that. She is definitely a victim of that. So yes, she is a witness to a homicide and a victim of a robbery. That's how I perceive her. Some perceive her differently. That's just my opinion. Might not be the whole story. We shouldn't assume until everything comes out. She didn't ask for this. No, I didn't say she asked for this, and I think I've made my blame very clear. She didn't ask for this, but this is something Brian Koberger brought to her front door. If anybody's to be blamed for this, it should be him, not me, and not the audience, and not other creators that are discussing this. And definitely not the police that are required to list facts for an arrest affidavit. They did everything they can. We are smarter than they put DM. They didn't even spell out the kids' names in these affidavits. We already knew the kids' names in these affidavits. That's the difference. So they've done everything to keep the target off her back. But, you know, again, she makes her own decisions. She is an adult, and she has to live with the decisions that she chooses to make, just like I do, and just like every one of you do. If we stop paying our rent or our mortgage, guess what? We don't have a home to live in. When you are a victim of a crime and you don't call law enforcement, you have a mess to deal with. It is what it is. And I'm sorry, it may hurt some people's feelings. That's not my intention. But I live in a realistic world here, not a sub-reality world. Okay, this is not a kumbaya moment. This is a serious event that happened. She was involved in it. She had a duty, and she failed in that duty, whether she's a victim or not. That is the factual statements in this case. She failed in her duties. She knew that somebody was in her house, and she shut her door and locked it and went to sleep. That I have a problem with. And yes, she went to sleep. When those stuff comes out, and all these people will be like, well, she was in shock. No. She was not in shock for 8 hours. Her actions, the minute she shut that door and locked that door, she was not in shock anymore. Because again, your brain goes blank. The action of shutting the door and locking the door when you're in shock doesn't even pop into the brain. You are just blank. You are frozen. Your hands are just shaking. Your body is trembling, and you are just petrified. I don't know where I don't necessarily believe that, cowboy. I really don't. But I believe there's more to this story. I think what we're going to probably end up coming out to find is that possibly Dylan was under the influence of something, and she was scared of getting in trouble. And I'm sorry, that's not good enough excuse for me. And again, I didn't do this to her. I don't want people saying, oh, poor buddy, victim shaming. I didn't do it. I'm just speaking the facts of the case. I appreciate your opinion. Yeah, and you're entitled to it. Don't forget to go out here. We have almost 650. We just ran over 650 people in the chat. Please don't forget to go out there and hit the like button. We're going to go over a couple things right now. We just kind of segue from the Cali 6 to the Idaho 4. If those that are coming in here are still don't understand what is the California 6, thank you. God bless you. What the California 6 is, it's 4 that were gunned down inside their home in a cartel style hit in California, in a small town called Goshen, California, and it's in Tulare County, California. I said Tulane in my video. I apologize about that. I thought that's what they said. Many of you guys know I don't hear very well, and I kept trying. Goshen is everywhere, but the county itself was not in print in several of the articles that I wrote. And even this guy, you know, when he was saying it, I couldn't make heads or tails whether it was Tulane or Tulare. So I have changed the the county on the description, but the video is done, so it's going to say Tulane throughout that video. But this was really horrific. You know, a 72-year-old grandmother was killed in her sleep. A 16-year-old trying to save her baby. Both were killed in this, and it was just a very sad. We just played the. Let me see if I can get this up again. We just played the 911 call from them. Let me just pull this up again for each and every one of you. Let me see if I can present this one without. No. So I got to drop one to open another. This is so irritating. This is like driving me nuts. Oops. No, I don't want that. I need to open it up. Hold on a second. Let me open it up. There it is. And it is sad. I mean, you're hearing these people.
What's going on?
On Harvest, Goshen.
Okay, do you live in an apartment or is this a home?
Oh.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. What's going on?
They shot my boyfriend. And they keep shooting outside. But I don't know if they're still here. I'm scared because they're still shooting outside. Please hurry, please. I don't know where they are now. Oh, they're still shooting.
They're still shooting?
Yes, hurry, please. They're coming back. They're coming back. Oh, they're coming back in.
Who's coming back in?
The guys. Please hurry, come on. You hear? Someone else is screaming now. No, that's them shooting in the house.
What do you hear now?
Nothing. I don't know if they're out there. I'm too scared. I hear sirens coming. Thank you. My boyfriend is on the floor. He's shot in the stomach.
Is he breathing?
Is he breathing? Yeah, he's still breathing. He's still breathing. Hold on, baby. Hold on, please.
We have help on the way, okay? I have the officer right around the corner.
It's okay, baby. You're going to make it. You're going to make it. They're here. Okay. They're here. Right here. Come in here. Come here. Watch the feet. Okay, they're here with me, okay?
You're there? Okay, you did. May I help you?
Hello.
So there you go.
Hello, ma'am. Do you have any emergency?
I want to stop.
Yeah.
There you go.
What's going on?
Hopefully it stops. And we'll play that again here in just a little bit. But, you know, very unnerving. That's for the Cali 6. You see the house that they were living in. It wasn't a small house, but, and then you can see the RV kind of on the side of the house. We heard that that somebody was in the trailer. So I believe this was the trailer that they seen right to the side. You can't see my cursor because of how StreamYard likes to run their stuff. I don't know who I need to speak to. It's driving me nuts. But either way, I can't keep complaining about it. I just got to do something about it. But there you have it. That was one of the calls. Now we know that there was another victim, according to law enforcement, a male victim that called law enforcement from it. And maybe I got the facts wrong, but he was in the one of the closets in one of the rooms, and he had his feet up against the door while he laid on his back flat inside the closet. So if they shot, they would miss him. And they tried to jingle the door to get in, but they couldn't get in and just moved on. Must have thought that nobody was in there. Obviously didn't do a very good job of checking. They did end up leaving 3 surviving victims. You heard 2 women in that call, and then we know of the 1 male. 6 have expired. 1 expired at the hospital, 5 expired and were dead on arrival, or dead on scene. So it had to have been pretty bad. The sheriff seems very highly upset, but he was talking about how these communities are unsuspecting with these types of members and organizations that are infiltrating small communities and living literally out in the open where nobody is the wiser. You know, this is a large house. They see people coming and going, but the community maybe thought they were getting up and going to work, you know, whatever their situation may be. Small town, you know, everybody knows everybody, but everybody keeps their nose to themselves, you know? So it's just one of those things. I'm going to go ahead and play it for those that are coming in here again. Please don't forget to thumb up this live, and then we're going to go ahead and call it. I want you guys to have an amazing Sunday. But here, as we go out, please listen to this again. The 911 call for the Cali 6. Here you go.
What's going on?
On Harvest, Goshen.
Okay, do you live in an apartment or is this a home?
Oh, let me see if I can get this. Wanted to see if I can get the volume up a little bit, but I guess we'll just have to roll with it. That's their house.
Okay. What's going on?
They shot my boyfriend. They keep shooting outside, but I don't know if they're still here. I'm scared because they're still shooting outside. Please hurry, please. I don't know where they are now. Oh, they're still shooting.
They're still shooting?
Yes, hurry, please. They're coming back. They're coming back. Oh, they're coming back in.
Who's coming back in?
The guys. Please hurry, come on. You hear? Someone else is screaming now. No, that's him shooting in the house.
What do you hear now?
Nothing. I don't know if they're out there. I'm too scared. I hear sirens coming. Thank you. My boyfriend is on the floor. He's shot in the stomach.
Is he breathing?
Is he breathing? Yeah, he's still breathing. He's still breathing. Hold on, baby. Hold on, please.
We have help on the way. Okay, I have the officer right around the corner.
I think the top three on here, I think they're the most innocent of the innocent. This seems like he was more of the ringleader inside the home, and she was his girlfriend, and this was his son, which I'm sorry, he's 19 years old. He looks a little hardened in this photo himself, but it's the three up top that I have the biggest problem with. Grandma was shot in her sleep in her bed, and these two here were shot down the street as they tried to flee. So just a very sad situation related to these folks, and just want to, say a prayer for the community. They didn't ask for this. They didn't even know that this was existing in their community, according to everything I've been able to see. And this is just, this is bad. And the officer did not mince his words. So before we go out, I'm going to go ahead and play for all of you guys let me pull this back. My video, it's going to be about 14 minutes. And if you guys have already seen it and want to leave, you guys can. But I'm going to go ahead and play it. Oops, let me put this on this channel. Hold on, let's see, make sure there's nothing major going on. Freckles. Oh, Freckles gifted. Thank you, Freckles. Freckles gifted a membership. Thank you for mods for keeping me up to date. Excuse me, up to date on those. I did not. I can't see them on my end, where I can go on the other end. But thank you, Freckles, for gifting the one membership to a lucky person inside the chat of the Bullhorn Betty channel. Thank you. God bless you. So we've had 3 gift memberships in this segment. So thank you all for your love and support of this channel. Let me get this pulled up. And we'll just watch this so you guys can be all the fun stuff we have to do. All the fun stuff we have to do. This is a pain in my butt. You guys know that, right? This is a real pain in my butt. Hey guys, so Bullhorn Betty here. I am covering a developing story. It's been developing since January 13th. It was kind of like a hit in this small town of Tulane County, California.
My name is Mike Boudreau. I'm the sheriff of the Tulare County Sheriff's Office. It's shocking for the nation. It's shocking that we live in a community where this type of danger exists. At 03:38, early morning hours of Monday, the Tulare County Sheriff's Office was dispatched to a home in the 6800 block of Harvest Road in Goshen. Deputies arrived on the scene exactly 7 minutes later. One of the victims, when deputies arrived, was still alive. He immediately began CPR. Unfortunately, he died at the hospital. She was 16 and the small infant was 10 months old. She was found, along with the infant, laying next to her mother, his mother, down the street. We believe that the 16-year-old teenage mother and her small infant actually was fleeing and running from the scene. He actually describes them rattling the doorknob to see if they could get in, and then they moved on, leaving him inside. The two others were hiding in a nearby trailer, where one of the victims was shot in the threshold of the trailer door. This was not a random act of violence. This was a very specific targeted act of violence. So I don't want the community to be scared or worried. Law enforcement and partnership over the years have learned to collaborate and work together. You know, much like the recent Idaho shooting, as you saw, he traveled all the way across the country.
You covered that case
Law
too.
enforcement worked in partnership to get that man in custody. It didn't matter how far he went. None of this was by accident.
I don't know if you guys remember hearing about this. 6 people lost their lives, including a 10-month-old child. And it was quite alarming for the community that something like this could happen. Now, it is believed that the occupants inside, at least some of them, were affiliated with unsavory people and an unsavory business practice, as you can imagine. Well, in the last few hours, the last day, maybe day and a half, this has starting to heat up, where 2 individuals have been captured. 25-year-old Noah Beard and 35-year-old Angel URIARTE, I believe, URIARTE, and he goes by NANU. And you guys could see him in that. He actually underwent surgery because of a shootout he had with law enforcement. They're both being charged with 6 counts of murder, and it says, and other crimes. I'm unsure what those other crimes are. The sheriff of Tulane County has spoken about this. Apparently, this home is well known to them, is well known to have gang affiliations and things of that nature. Please check this out right here. Here's where the sheriff is talking about some of the things that he is aware of in this particular news segment that came out early on in this investigation. So that's where we're going to stop right now. If you guys want to watch the rest of the video, as you can see, there's 12 additional minutes left. And he goes in to explain quite a few things, including that he knows that they are watching the news organization, and he just wants to let them know that he knows a lot. And that's what he wants them to know, is they have a lot. And we can see some of the lot that they have. I mean, they had video surveillance on that home that they were able to take. And these yahoos that did this didn't even put masks on their face. You could clearly see them and see their faces, including that tattoo that NANU has near his eye. So, you know, this is a crazy case. This is stuff that we should be paying attention to and listening for, and living our life vigilantly, because this stuff could be right next door to you as well. Nobody knew that this existed in their community, in this small 3,000 population of Goshen, California. And it happened to them. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, this sheriff, he's mad. He's mad at a lot of things. But more importantly, it sounds like, you know, they had one of the victims in jail, but it was too easy for him to bail out. Could this have been prevented if he was still in jail? Maybe. We don't know. We will never know. We will never know. I don't think this is necessarily needs to be a conversation about, gun control, as it needs to be, abstaining from the drug culture. These thugs that are coming into our communities. We need the bad people off the streets. I think we need to start talking about that, because the people in this house had every single one of their guns confiscated. They were sitting ducks. They were sitting ducks. So with that, guys, we have a lot more to go over. I just am running out of time today to go over it. I don't even have time to open up the phone lines, which I wanted to, because I wanted to get your insight on this California 6, but we're going to have to wait until the other day. I was going to come back live yesterday afternoon, but this video that I just showed you that I made actually took me several hours to edit. The press conference was well over 30 minutes, and I had to get all of the main points cut out and put in an order, because the way he talked, it was so it flows a lot better in this creation as opposed to the press conference, because the Q&A, he was answering a lot of questions about stuff that he had already spoken about up front. So I clipped those and moved those in order so you guys could see that. But that's why it took me so long. By the time I got done with this video, it was already after 2 p.m. So I did a couple more videos, and that was it. I did the one on Summer Wells, I'm upset. Since then, there was more that came in. Apparently, findsummerwells.com has a new video out. And I've got to say, it was like creepy. It was weird. It was cute. I thought it was a cute video, but it surely seemed like there were so many subliminal messages in this video, and primarily the fact that they were back at the water hole to film this. And it made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. And then to see Candace and Don, now mind you, they've had every single one of their children, 3 sets of children, removed from their custody. One is missing. And they're out there releasing balloons with 2 young girls. And it unnerves me a little bit. It unnerves me. So if you guys haven't seen it, go and see it, and we'll discuss it tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be back on Alec Murdaugh. I've got a lot of work to do because I missed 2 days of his trial that I need to review, so we can have a discussion of where we're at. But I did talk to a few people, and it's starting to get intense in that courtroom. I've noticed that the semantics, the trial strategy of Alec looking like the brokenhearted man is kind of dissolving. I noticed that his rocking has subsided, that he's paying more attention and closely monitoring the witnesses more. I feel that the prosecution is making their case from the little bit that I saw over, like these last 3 days that I missed, was pretty, from what I gather, from the little bits that I saw. I haven't watched it. I got a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. And it seems to be really, really damning to the defense. And it seems like some of these things the defense isn't well suited for. So I'm interested in hearing about that. But we're going to have a discussion tomorrow. We're going to do our early bird live. We're going to do our coffee club live. I'm going to start that around 6 or 6:30. We're going to wrap up around 8:30. That's going to give everybody about an hour to do whatever they need to do. And then we're going to run that. We're going to run Monday's trial hearing live right from here, right from the Bullhorn Betty channel. So those that would like to come over here and support this channel while we watch it, we can. During the pauses and breaks, we'll be doing some commentary. of what we've seen so far and updating. So even if you can't watch the entire day, come back. You'll start hearing some, at least summarizations through the the pauses, when they have to when they have to talk to the judge and microphones go down, we'll pop back in. We'll start talking about this. I'm probably not going to be in the office. I'm probably going to be in the room because of my back. I can't sit in this chair for 8 hours. But I'm going to see about setting up a phone in there and the computer in here. And so I can pop back and forth wherever I can be. But I do a lot of work. I do a lot of work in the room. All right. I mean, I do the majority of all my research sitting in that bed with my table and my computer. It's just more comfortable for me. So Jane P says Alec Murdaugh had to have help and left the scene to clean up, hide the murder weapons. In my opinion, it might be. Hey, let's not cast out our cousin Eddie. Cousin Eddie seemed to be there for him with a lot of dirty deeds. So it makes me wonder how much cousin Eddie knows about this entire situation. It really does. Cousin Eddie, I think, is key because it seemed like the one person Alec could trust in something like this. He seems, like the criminal mind that he is, and it seems like Alec could trust him. It makes me wonder how many times has Alex trusted him in the past, right? That's the first thing that comes to, right? That's the first thing that comes to my mind, just like Brian Coper. Well, how many more bodies are behind him? Where did he go? We need to look at his entire past and see if somebody showed up, if he's had dry runs and stuff like this, right? Same thing here. It's like, we know cousin Eddie has no problem taking a gun to his cousin's head at his cousin's request. What else is he willing to do for his cousin, right? I'm sorry, I go there. Anyways, guys, that's it I have for today. We have a lot more coming up. I just run out of time. I don't want to take up. I try to keep our segments in 2 hours. But just know tomorrow we're going to be going all day with the live from Alec Murdaugh trial. I really would enjoy the love and the support that you guys can provide to this channel if you guys so wish. We will be commentating as well. So it's not going to just be the dry run. I don't have anything going on. Tuesday, on the other hand, is going to be a different matter. I will be going back to my county meetings. I've missed probably about 4 meetings so far. I need to get the phone lines open at the county so we can call in. So when I'm on the road, I can still participate in my county governance and government. And so, but with that, guys, today's Sunday. Please do an act of kindness for a perfect stranger today. If that means somebody having a hard time getting across the road, help them. If you see an animal in the road, move it on. If you see somebody struggling to put bags in the back of their car, if you see somebody on the side of the road that's asking for money, maybe go buy them a sandwich and give them a sandwich and some Coke or a soda or, Sprite or a healthy beverage like water. Just consider banking the good karma credits in your good karma bank, right? So do an act of kindness for a perfect stranger. I need to get ready and start heading out of here. Today is church, and we're going to be getting back in and praising God for everything that we have and being blessed with what we have and the people that are in our life. With that, everybody, don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Good day.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.